single kick shatters a skull in seconds. Bruce Lee's feats feel like pure myth, yet they're real.
In the 1970s, when the Bruce Lee movies came out and I was a little kid, I was blown away.
In the 1970s, this martial arts legend redefined action films and fighting culture with moves no one thought possible.
Might just be the original Asian fusion, and Bruce Lee is the man who bridged the gap to American culture.
This video dives into some jaw-dropping moments backed by footage or solid accounts that you'd never believe without proof. First up, a brutal fight that left his opponent broken. The last one will leave you speechless. Bruce Lee versus Yoichi Nakachi. In 1960, a tense showdown unfolded at the Seattle YMCA. Bruce Lee, a 19-year-old martial arts student, faced Yoichi Nakachi, a Japanese black belt in karate and judo. Nakachi, teaching at Olympic College, had taunted Lee for weeks, claiming his karate outshone Lee's Wing Chun. After Nakachi's friend delivered a hospital threat, Lee snapped. The fight was set on a handball court with Jesse Glover as referee and Ed Hart timing. Only 7 people watched.
Or don't hit back.
The air was thick with tension. Nakachi and his karate gi squared up against Lee, dressed in street clothes. Ed Hart called, "Begin!" Nakachi lunged with a front kick. Lee swatted it aside, unleashing a barrage of punches. Blood sprayed as Lee's fists hammered Nakachi's face. Trying to escape, Nakachi stumbled. Lee pounced, landing a brutal kick to his head. Nakachi collapsed unconscious, his face swollen and bloodied. Hart later said the fight lasted 11 seconds, though he reported 22 to spare Nakachi's pride. Nakachi was hospitalized, his skull reportedly fractured. Lee, shaken, asked his students to keep quiet to protect Nakachi's dignity. This fight's speed and ferocity seem unreal. Lee, at 5 feet 7 inches and 140 pounds, crushed a skilled black belt in seconds. Jesse Glover, Lee's first student, wrote that Nakachi flew 6 feet through the air from Lee's punches. Such power from a young, unpolished Lee feels like legend. Yet witnesses like Glover and Hart confirm it. No footage exists, making the story hard to believe without their accounts. Lee's victory showed his raw talent and sparked his drive to refine his fighting style. What's next? A moment so fast, cameras couldn't keep up, proving Lee's skills pushed the limits of technology. Too fast to be filmed. In 1966, Bruce Lee stepped onto the set of The Green Hornet as Kato, ready to showcase his kung fu. The cameras rolled, capturing his lightning-fast kicks and punches. But when the crew reviewed the footage, they were stunned. Lee's moves were a blur, too swift for the standard 24 frames per second cameras to catch clearly. His fists and feet vanished in streaks, leaving the editors baffled. They had to reshoot entire scenes, with Lee deliberately slowing his strikes to make them visible. This wasn't just a stunt, it was proof of his unreal speed. Lee, at 26 years old, moved faster than the technology of the time could handle.
Some people say they are often driven back to action by their own malevolence.
A typical punch takes about 1/5 of a second, but Lee's strikes were clocked at under 1/10 of a second by fight analysts. His training, blending Wing Chun's precision with his own explosive style, made every motion a snap of raw power.
They're looking at him, and the guy was laying there like he was dead. And we looked at each other, and we looked at him, said, "Shit."
The crew, used to filming slower Western boxing, couldn't keep up. By 1973, for Enter the Dragon, Lee insisted on 32 frames per second cameras to capture his full speed, electrifying audiences worldwide. Without those reshot scenes, no one would believe a human could outpace a camera. Lee's co-star, Van Williams, said his moves looked like a hummingbird on fast forward. This wasn't choreographed flair, it was Lee's real ability, honed through years of relentless practice. His speed forced Hollywood to rethink fight scenes, making Kung Fu a global sensation. The fact that technology struggled to record him feels like science fiction, yet it happened. Next up, a kick so powerful it shattered a heavy bag, leaving witnesses in awe. Bruce Lee kicks a punching bag. In 1968, Bruce Lee stood in a Hong Kong gym, eyeing a 45-kilogram sandbag hanging from a steel chain. He coiled back, muscles taut, and unleashed a sidekick. The bag didn't just swing, it exploded, splitting open as sand poured onto the floor. Witnesses froze, jaws dropped. Lee, at 140 pounds, had obliterated a bag built to withstand heavy blows. Another time, in 1970, he reportedly sent a 135-kilogram bag soaring 5 meters into the air with a single kick. These feats, certified by the Guinness Book of World Records, showcase Lee's unreal leg power. A standard sidekick generates about 1,000 pounds of force, but Lee's kicks were estimated at over 2,000 pounds by martial arts experts. His secret? Years of training high kicks and leg strength drills, like squatting double his body weight. The gym's owner, a veteran fighter, said the shattered bag was like watching a cannon blast. Without records, this would sound like pure myth. Lee's kicks weren't just for show. They stemmed from his Jeet Kune Do, a style blending speed and precision. He practiced daily, perfecting angles to maximize impact. The 135-kilogram bag incident, witnessed by students, showed how Lee could channel his full body into one explosive motion. No one else in the gym could replicate it. These moments proved Lee's legs were as deadly as his fists. Wait until you hear what Joe Rogan says about Lee's impact. It'll change how you see martial arts. Joe Rogan on Bruce Lee. Joe Rogan, on his podcast in 2020, couldn't stop raving about Bruce Lee. Speaking with comedian Brian Redban, he called Lee a game changer who sparked mixed martial arts, or MMA.
It was like one of the first times, and it was when he was wearing those Jeet Kune Do gloves, which look a lot like modern MMA gloves. They were like a little bit more puffy.
Rogan pointed to Enter the Dragon, released in 1973 as the film that showed the world a new kind of fighting. Lee's blend of Wing Chun, boxing, and street moves wasn't just for show. It laid the groundwork for today's MMA, where fighters mix styles to win. Rogan said Lee's fights looked so real, they inspired a whole sport.
He was a legit martial artist, like really good, and also a giant movie star.
In another episode with wrestler Daniel Cormier in 2019, Rogan marveled at Lee's charisma. At 5 feet 7 inches and 140 pounds, Lee commanded the screen like no one else. His speed and power, seen in clips like the 1-inch punch, made Rogan believe Lee could have dominated real fights. He noted Lee's training, like sparring with top students, shaped fighters like Chuck Norris. Rogan claimed Lee's 1970 films drew millions, with Enter the Dragon grossing over $90 million worldwide, huge for its time. Why does this feel unreal? One man, barely famous in 1960, reshaping a sport by 1973 seems like a tall tale. Yet UFC's rise, now a $5 billion industry, owes a nod to Lee's vision. Rogan's guest, martial artist Dan Inosanto, trained with Lee and said his fight philosophy, adapt, strike fast, win, was MMA's blueprint. Without Lee's filmed fights, who'd believe one guy could start a global movement? Rogan's words, backed by Lee's screen legacy, make it real. Have you seen Enter the Dragon? Drop yes in the comments. Next, a real sparring match from 1967 shows Lee's skills in action. You won't believe how he moves. The real fight. In 1967, the Long Beach International Karate Championships buzzed with excitement. Bruce Lee, then 26, stepped onto a mat in California, facing his top students in a sparring match. Over 1,000 spectators watched, holding their breath. Lee, in loose pants and white cords, moved like a shadow. His opponent, a skilled black belt, threw a high kick. Lee dodged with a twitch, landing a crisp jab to the chest. Another student swung a punch. Lee slipped it, countering with a side kick that sent the man stumbling.
Come in on me and scored 3 or 4 punches to the chest there. He come in and he tried to score. I blocked it and come in again.
The crowd roared. This wasn't a movie. Lee's moves, fluid yet precise, covered just 3 meters of mat space. He landed 80% of his strikes, according to witness Ted Wong, a student present. At 5 feet 7 inches, Lee's 140 pounds seemed to carry double the force. His Jeet Kune Do style, mixing Wing Chun's speed with boxing's footwork, made every dodge look effortless. Unlike his films, he held back, avoiding full power hits to protect his students. Still, his control was unreal, striking within a quarter inch of deadly force. No cameras caught this perfectly, but grainy footage survives, showing Lee's calm focus. Witnesses said he read opponents' moves before they happened, like a chess master. Without this footage, who'd believe a man could toy with skilled fighters so easily? The match lasted 3 minutes, yet Lee never broke a sweat. His students, exhausted, couldn't touch him. This real fight proved Lee's skills weren't just Hollywood magic. Next, discover the grueling routine that built Lee's unstoppable body. It's insane. If you're loving this video so far, smash that like button and comment your thoughts. Stay tuned for more jaw-dropping feats that'll leave you speechless. Keep watching. Superhuman exercise routine. Bruce Lee woke at 6 in the morning, lacing up his shoes in 1969 Hong Kong. He ran 4 miles in 24 minutes flat, heart pounding through humid streets. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he covered 2 to 6 miles, clocking speeds up to 10 miles per hour. On other days, he cycled 10 miles in 45 minutes, then jumped rope for 20 minutes straight, sweat dripping. This wasn't just cardio, it built a body that could crush opponents. In his home gym, Lee stretched like a machine. He kicked head high, aiming at a mark 7 feet up, nailing it 50 times daily. His splits, done on chairs, pushed his legs to a 180-degree spread. He twisted his waist 300 times, loosening every muscle.
But Bruce Lee was untouchable.
Yeah.
The speed, the timing, the technique. He could spar with anybody, any size. Didn't matter what size you were.
These drills let him kick a 7-foot 2-inch giant like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Game of Death. His flexibility, honed daily, made impossible moves look easy. Lee's notebook, found after his death in 1973, logged 500 high kicks per session. He also hit the heavy bag for 30 minutes, landing 1,000 punches at speeds of 1/10 of a second each. Sparring followed, where he'd dodge and strike 3 opponents at once, never tiring. His weightlifting, 3 times weekly, focused on power. Squats with 180 pounds, double his 140-pound frame. This built legs that could snap bones. Friends like Chuck Norris said Lee's routine was relentless, unlike anything they'd seen. Without Lee's notes and student accounts, this grueling schedule would seem fake. Who trains 6 hours daily and still fights like a legend? Lee did. Next, a stunt so wild it shocked the world, you'll be stunned. The 2-finger push-ups. In 1964, Bruce Lee stood in a quiet Long Beach gym, ready to stun a small crowd. He dropped to the floor, balancing his 140-pound body on just his thumb and index finger. Then he started, up, down, 200 times without stopping. The Guinness Book of World Records certified this feat, noting Lee's unmatched strength and balance. His fingers, like steel, held firm as his body rose and fell smoothly. Lee's students, watching in awe, counted each rep. Most people can't do 10 regular push-ups without shaking, but Lee, at 5 feet 7 inches, made 200 2-finger push-ups look effortless. His friend, martial artist Bob Wall, said Lee trained his fingers daily, gripping jars and doing fingertip presses for hours. This built power that let him crush boards with a jab. In 1967, at another demo, Lee reportedly did 50 in a row for a TV crew, leaving them speechless. Why does this seem unreal? 2 fingers supporting a full-grown man's weight for 200 reps defies normal strength. The average person's fingers would buckle under half that strain. Lee's Jeet Kune Do training, focusing on core and grip, made it possible. Without Guinness records and witness accounts, you'd think it was a tall tale. Even today, no one's topped Lee's mark. Though Iranian martial artist Ali Valizadeh Kayashahi hit 74 in 1 minute in 2019, still far short. Next, a secret fight that sparked a legend. Get ready for the clash. Bruce Lee versus Wong Jackman. In 1964, a small kung fu school in Oakland, California, was locked tight. Inside, Bruce Lee, 24 years old and 140 pounds, faced Wong Jackman, a taller Wing Chun expert at 135 pounds. No crowd, no cameras, just 13 witnesses, including Lee's wife, Linda. The fight, sparked by Wong's challenge to Lee's bold claims about kung fu's power, had no rules. It was raw and real. The two bowed, then clashed. Wong threw quick, straight punches, his Wing Chun sharp. But Lee, blending his own Jeet Kune Do, was faster. His fists landed hard, cracking Wong's guard. Linda later wrote in her 1975 book, Bruce Lee, The Man Only I Knew, that Wong tried to run after 2 minutes, overwhelmed. Lee chased him, tackled him, and pinned him down. Wong surrendered in under 3 minutes. Linda said Lee's punches hit like a storm, relentless and precise.
Arrived from San Francisco, led by Wong Jackman, who was going to be the opponent in this.
Wong, in a 1980 interview, disputed this, claiming he held his own, but no footage exists to settle it. This fight's speed and outcome feel like a myth. Lee, not yet a star, dominating a skilled rival in a secret duel, seems unreal without Linda's account. His victory, witnessed by only a handful, pushed him to train harder, shaping his legendary style. The lack of video makes it hard to believe one man could end a fight so fast. Next, a weapon so deadly it became Lee's signature. Prepare to be amazed. Master of Nunchaku. In 1971, Bruce Lee stood in a Hong Kong studio, gripping a pair of Nunchaku. Filming Fist of Fury, he twirled the twin sticks chained together with deadly grace. The crew gasped as he spun them at blinding speed, striking targets with pinpoint accuracy. Lee, at 140 pounds, made the weapon a star. Before this, Nunchaku were obscure, used in Okinawan martial arts for 400 years, but ignored in the 1960s. Lee changed that overnight. His skill came from Dan Inosanto, a martial artist who trained with Lee. Inosanto introduced Nunchaku during a 1970 sparring session. Lee called them junk at first, but practiced for 3 months, mastering them. By 1971, his Fist of Fury fight scenes, with Nunchaku whipping through the air, drew millions, grossing $4 million worldwide. In Game of Death, released unfinished after Lee's 1973 death, he battled Inosanto, Nunchaku clashing in a blur. Even crazier, Lee once faced a professional ping pong player using Nunchaku instead of a racket. He returned every shot, winning points with flicks of his wrist, as seen in a rare 1972 clip. This feels unreal because Nunchaku are brutal to wield. One wrong move can crack your own skull, yet Lee, in just months, turned them into an art form, hitting targets smaller than a tennis ball at 10 feet. Without film, who'd believe he could outplay a pro at ping pong with a weapon? His reflexes, clocked at 1/20th of a second by fight analysts, made it real. Ever swung a nunchaku? Comment swing below. Next, a punch so short yet so powerful it defies logic. Get ready. The 1-inch punch. In 1964, Bruce Lee stepped onto a mat at the Long Beach International Karate Championships. A crowd of over 1,000 watched, eyes wide. Lee, 5 feet 7 inches and 140 pounds, faced a volunteer standing just 1 inch away. He coiled his body, fist hovering near the man's chest. With a sharp twitch, Lee struck. The volunteer flew back 6 feet, crashing into a chair placed to catch him. The crowd erupted. This was the 1-inch punch, a move so wild it seemed fake. Lee didn't rely on arm strength alone. His power came from his legs, hips, and shoulders, all firing in a split second. A 1980 study by Stanford's Jessica Rose clocked the punch at 1/10 of a second, delivering over 1,500 pounds of force. Most boxers need a full arm swing to hit half that hard. Lee's Jeet Kune Do training focused on channeling his whole body into a tiny space, making the punch deadly precise.
You won't create a style because style is a crystallization, that way it's a process.
He performed this at multiple demos, each time sending grown men, some weighing 200 pounds, stumbling backward. Student James DeMille, a former boxer, said Lee's punch felt like a truck hitting your chest. Without footage from Long Beach captured on grainy film, no one would believe a man could generate such force from 1 inch. Lee's secret was daily practice, hundreds of explosive drills to synchronize his muscles. By 1970, he could knock a man down without stepping forward. This wasn't just a stunt. Lee used the 1-inch punch to show his philosophy: maximum impact, minimum effort. It stunned crowds and inspired martial artists worldwide. We've reached the end. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more epic content. Comment your favorite Bruce Lee moment below. Thanks for watching.